It was during my unsuccessful attempt to buy a cotton skirt in an American department store that I was told my hips were too large to fit into a size 6. "In this entire store there is no skirt for me," I said. "You are joking." I was very suspicious, and thought that the saleslady just might be too tired to help me. At least I could understand that. But the lady added a condescending judgment, which sounded to me like it left no room for discussion. "You are too big," she said. "I am too big compared to what?" I asked, looking at her intently, because I realised that I was facing a critical cultural gap here. "Compared to a size 6, came the saleslady's reply. Her voice had a clear-cut edge to it that is typical of those who enforce religious laws. "Size 4 and 6 are the norm," she went on, encouraged by my bewildered look. "Deviant sizes such as the ones you need can be bought in special stores." That was the first time I had ever heard such nonsense about my size. The flattering comments I received from men in Morocco regarding my particularly generous hips had for decades led me to believe that the entire planet shared their conviction. But I had learned long ago not to rely too much on the outside world for my sense of self-worth. But things were different in that New York department store. In fact, I have to confess that I lost my usual self-confidence. In that peaceful store that I had entered so triumphantly, as a sovereign consumer ready to spend money, I felt savagely attacked. My hips, until then the sign of a relaxed and uninhibited maturity, were suddenly being condemned as a deformity. "And who says that everyone must be size 6? I joked to the saleslady, deliberately neglecting to mention size 4, which is the size of my skinny 12-year-old niece. At that point the saleslady gave me an anxious look. "The norm is everywhere, my dear," she said. "It's all over in the magazines, on television, in the ads. You can't escape it." "Big department stores go by the norm," she paused, and then concluded. "If they sold size 14 or 16, which is probably what you need, they would go bankrupt." She stopped for a minute and then stared at me, intrigued. "Where on earth do you come from?" "I am sorry I can't help you, really I am." The saleswoman laughed merrily and said that I should advertise my country as a paradise for stressed working women. "You mean you don't watch your weight?" she inquired, with more than a tinge of disbelief in her voice. Then, after a brief moment of silence, she added in a low register, as if talking to herself, "Many women working in highly paid fashion-related jobs could lose their positions if they didn't keep a strict diet." Her words sounded so simple, but the threat that they implied was so cruel. In feudal China, a beautiful woman was the one who voluntarily sacrificed her right to unhindered physical movement by mutilating her own feet, and therefore proving that her main goal in life was to please men. Similarly, in the Western world, I was expected to shrink my hips into a size 6 if I wanted to find a decent skirt tailored for a beautiful woman. In fact, the modern Western man enforces one of Immanuel Kant's 19th century theories. To be beautiful, women have to appear childish and brainless. When a woman looks mature and self-assertive, or allows her hips to expand, she is condemned as ugly. Women relinquish the ordinary signs of sexual hierarchy, such as old age and larger body. By doing so, they spontaneously accept the subservient position. It's the conclusion that this paralyzes Western women's abilities to compete for power. Even though access to education and professional opportunities seem wide open, the rules of the game are very different according to gender. Women enter the power game with so much of their energy deflected onto their physical appearance that one hesitates to say that the playing field is level. Dieting is the most potent political sedative in women's history. Concern with weight leads to a virtual collapse of self-esteem and sense of effectiveness. Prolonged and periodic caloric restriction results in a distinctive personality whose traits are passivity, anxiety, and emotionality. I'm actually going to a wedding this Friday too. I'm not a bridesmaid, I'm just attending the wedding. And I went shopping for a dress yesterday and had a great time. So yeah, I've got to go pack. See you next week.